January 20th, 2025. I am in Norwich, Connecticut. I'm going to take a little drive around town, or just up some of the major roads, maybe Washington Street, Broadway. Basically just to cover a minor snow event that we had. I want to capture the first snow of the year. We haven't had much snow this year at all. We haven't had much snow in the past several years, to be honest with you, but I think we got maybe, where I live, 2 to 3 inches. It wasn't much. I think higher accumulation totals were originally predicted. That just didn't pan out. I'm currently on Plain Hill Road. I'm going to be crossing over onto West Town Street. And I got to be kind of careful driving around because there's a lot of it's melting. They put chemicals on the street to melt the snow for safe driving, obviously. And sometimes cars in front of me can really kick up a lot of moisture, and that unfortunately will kind of ruin the lens. The visuals will be distorted because of accumulation of fine particles of fluid on the lens. So I'm going to try to drive real slow and try to keep my distance. So I can avoid that problem. Right now, let's see, according to the bank, it's 11:47 a.m., 27 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a clear day, a couple of clouds in the sky, not much. I think it's going to end up being crystal clear as I drive down West Town Street in the Norwich Town section of Norwich, Connecticut. Samuel Huntington School to my right. It looks like there's nobody there, so I don't know. Apparently there's no school. Again, we didn't get much snow at all. Nothing. I did my driveway. It was a piece of cake. Gentleman on the right-hand side shoveling. Speed limit's 25 miles per hour here, so I don't have to really, I'm not going to drive fast anyways, as I mentioned, but we're just trying to grab some of the nice looking footage. There's the Norwich Town Green. Let me take a drive around there. That's a beautiful location in Norwich Town. This is Norwich, Connecticut. They have their little sections. Norwich Town, the Greenville section, Thamesville, Taffville, whatever. They're all over the place. Anyways, let me zip around this. I'm trying to think here. Yeah, let me take a right. We'll catch some of these old houses built some of them in the 1700s. To our right is the Norwich Town Green. They have band concerts in the summer. Beautiful series of concerts they have there every year. Former John Mason School there to the right. I'm trying to think. Yeah, let me go left here. There's a bunch of different ways I could play this. Actually, it's a little unorthodox. I'm going to back up, get in this other lane. We're figuring it out on the fly here, folks. All right. We are now on New London Turnpike. Driving past F.W. Webb on the right, the former Benny's, location of the former Benny's. It was there ever since I was a child, but they went out of business a few years ago. Gorin's Furniture to my right. They've been there since I was a kid. They've been there as long as I can remember, probably my entire life. Conditions right now are extremely bright. Now it's 25 degrees, so it's, you know, it's cold. I mean, it could be worse. Tomorrow is supposed to be much worse, single digits. But there are a few clouds. I always like clouds when I do these drives. It just makes for a nicer visual experience, in my opinion. As we cruise down New London Turnpike. Businesses are open. This doctor's offices to my left, they're all open. They're all firing on all cylinders. I mean, the school back there probably was closed. I don't know. No cars in the parking lot tells me that there's no school today, but I don't follow the cancellations, so I have to assume that it has been canceled. As I turn left onto Asylum Street, of course, in 2024, the Sherman Street Bridge was finalized after over 2 years of construction. And I'm going to drive over that now. Just a little bit up the road here. But you can kind of get a, look at the snow. Again, very minor. Okay, hold it. Sorry about that. We're driving over the Yannick River right now with the Sherman Street Bridge. This is the first time, let me see, this is historic. This is the first time I'm driving over the Sherman Street Bridge post-snowstorm. That's how new that bridge is. So, anyways, let's take a cruise up Sherman Street here. And I think I'll go down Sachem. What do you think? Should I go down Sachem or should I go down? No, I'm going to go down Lafayette Street. Yeah, straight down here's Lafayette Street. There's a plow. Those guys haven't had much work this year at all. It doesn't, I mean, January 20th, this is the first snow we've had. I mean, I fired up the snowblower. First time since last year. So, I mean, if you're depending on income and you operate a snowplow, you've had a terrible year this season thus far. Except for today, which again, I mean, it's, as you can see, very minor. I mean, the ground is covered, but it's 3 inches at best. I would say 2. 2.5 maybe. Okay, we're on Lafayette. I'm going to take a right on Washington Street. To my left is the Bacchus Hospital. My first driving video of 2025 is today. This is, I haven't done one of these in a while. I don't do many in the winter. If there's a snowstorm or something, I'll try to get out there. I do other kinds of videos. I have tons of videos on my YouTube channel where I actually am on the ground, physically walking around, giving tours of different locations. Or sometimes I put my camera on a tripod and film different areas. But I haven't done a driving video in a while, so let's kick 2025 off with this one and see what happens. We're heading towards Chelsea Parade, which is an absolutely beautiful area. I'm gonna go down Broadway right now, and I want to come up Washington Street at some point, if I can. I don't know. These videos, I do these. There's no strategic, moment by moment plan here, but if I do a general kind of swath of the area of your more January 20th, 2025. I have been trying to record. I'm in Norwich, Connecticut, by the way. I have been trying to record the aftermath of a minor snow event in Norwich. I'm behind the Otis Library right now, pointing toward where the Norwich Bulletin operates out of. But I was driving around. I'm going to try to patch the footage together, but the camera died. I mean, I don't know if it's too cold. It normally doesn't do that, but it did. Anyways. Chelsea Groton Bank directly in front of us at the moment. I'm going to have to keep an eye on this camera. I hope I have footage from my prior several miles that I drove here. Again, I'll have to patch it together. It might be an unusual portion of the video where I splice things together, but if this camera dies on me again, I'm just going to have to call it quits and say it's too cold. I have this light right now, so I'm going to take a left. I'm going to drive through the city. I'm going to hit the roundabout, sometimes called the Rotary, in Norwich after this. The only reason I'm driving around is I haven't done a video in 2025, as I mentioned earlier in this video, if it recorded. I'll let this young lady go. These guys, they have right of way, obviously. But there's the roundabout, and we're going to ride around that little circle. Okay. Anyways, let's cover a little bit of territory here. Guess what? I'm going to go all the way around this thing. But I have to keep an eye on the camera. Ooh, this is one of those tricky situations where it's so painfully cold. It's not that bad. It's 25 degrees, but it did freeze up on me, so my eyes are peeled. Anyways, minor snow event. Whoa, what's going on up here? Garbage truck. I don't want to get stuck in traffic. But a minor snow event, we got maybe 2-3 inches tops. And I'm trying to record the visuals of that situation in Norwich, Connecticut, because we haven't had any snow this year. I'm going to try not to repeat myself from what I said earlier in the video in case it did come out. To the right is the beautiful... You know what? I'm going to go up Washington Street. It's the beautiful City Hall. I'm going to go up Washington Street. Let me figure this thing out here. I'm having to, rethink this video, considering the fact that I'm going to have to do some tricky editing to splice things together, but that's okay. As I drive through the heart of Norwich, Connecticut, I'm going to, wow, blinking lights, okay. I'm going to get onto Main Street here, take a right. There's the courthouse directly in front of us. You have iconic locations like Harp and Dragon to my right. You got the Flatiron Building to my left. Let's go down to the harbor, take a look real quick. I'll just take a quick cruise around there. Keeping my fingers crossed the entire time that this camera does not freeze up on me again. When that thing shuts down, I mean, this could be, I might have lost all my other footage. That's a possibility, so I can't keep rambling on about this, but it's kind of a bummer having to do one of these drives and then lose everything. And we are waiting for the red light to turn green as I sit on Market Street pointing towards the harbor in Howard T. Brown Memorial Park with a nice gazebo to the left. Flags are at half-staff due to the death of former President Jimmy Carter. Okay, not a lot of traffic today. I'm not seeing much going on. I'm just going to do a quick sweep of the harbor. If you look, let me turn this car. If you look straight ahead up on the hill there, that's Laurel Hill. Some of those glorious mansions up there back in the 1800s, I think they were built. But I'm going to swing around here, point this camera at the harbor area. Right in front of us, right there. That's a pretty good view. I'm not going to linger too long as I try to capture on video the aftermath of a very minor snow event. I don't say snowstorm. They built this thing up like it was going to be some kind of a, blockbuster. 9 inches, all this. We got 2 inches of snow. 2.5 tops, as far as I'm concerned. We go back up Market Street. I'm going to take a left. Jump onto Water Street in Norwich, Connecticut. A lot of beautiful buildings in Norwich. The architecture just is remarkable, in my opinion. There's going to be apartments in the building there to my right. Strange Brew Pub, great place in Norwich for live music. All right, now, let's see if we can get this green light. Of course we can't. Just missed it. It's all right. That doesn't bother us. We just patiently wait for the red light to turn green. It's not a problem at all. Now let's see. I think, you know what? Change of plans. I'm going to go up Church Street. Let me turn. I'm going to go up Church Street. I'll go up Broadway because I might have lost all that footage I got earlier. Okay, the lights are definitely cooperating here today. They're changing quicker. They have smart lights in a lot of locations in Norwich where they have sensors that observe how much traffic is in front of them, and they turn green quicker, according to the volume of traffic. As we drive down the historic, beautiful Church Street, there's apartments, the terraces, they're called, to my left. Big church. I mean, this is actually, when I turn in a couple of feet here, I'm going to turn left, kind of bank the car slightly left. Let me get over here. And we're going to look at that City Hall built in 1873. That's always a nice view. I have videos right now on YouTube, recent videos. A recent video, but others, highlighting what it looks like at night, and it's really cool. It's all lit up for the holidays, Christmas and all that. Okay, we're on Broadway right now. Now, I drove down Broadway earlier, but that footage may have been all destroyed. If not, I hope it hasn't been, but if it has, we're just going in the other direction right now. Look at those to the right, those mansions, those pillars. I mean, it looks like to build that today would cost millions. Little plain park to my left, beautiful little park. St. Patrick's Cathedral to the right-hand side of our visual kind of panoramic view in front of us as I drive down Broadway. That is a cathedral back there. Again, the architecture on Broadway, Washington Street, all over Norwich, all over this area in Norwich, several locations, is absolutely jaw-dropping. I mean, guys, please, if you've never been to Norwich and you love architecture anywhere from the literal 1600s up to the 1800s, the old beautiful construction, this is your town. I mean, I can't stress it enough. I walk around these streets, I take walks and just look at the buildings, and it's incredible. Especially Broadway. It's one of my favorites. Chelsea Parade again, right in front of us. Former location of the Rose Arts Festival. Stevie Ray Vaughan played there, Tony Orlando and Dawn. Dionne Warwick. Forget it. Roberta Flack. I can't even begin to mention the legendary people that have performed there. I'm going to take a left onto Washington Street. Bobby Vinton played there in his prime. I mean, guys, just Charlie Daniels. The list is endless. I've mentioned it before. And when you think, wow, all those guys played in Norwich, Connecticut, this little town, little festival. Yeah, they did. And they sold out, and it was packed to the rafters every year. They still have the Rose Arts Festival. They don't have the tent and all that, but they still have the Rose Arts Festival. Now I am on Washington Street. More glorious architecture to your left and your right. The pillars, these are like Doric, Ionic, Corinthian, whatever. Different styles of homes. A lot built in the Victorian era. Federal style, everything. It's all big money to build these properties back in the 1800s, early 1900s. Dr. Cassidy's home to the right on the corner of Maple Grove and Washington. It's kind of a famous structure. Christ Episcopal Church, unfortunately, that's closed to my right back there. All right, so I covered some of Broadway, some of Washington. If I didn't lose the footage that's nice right there. Look at that, those clouds. Yeah, I can go right on red. Let's go over West Side Boulevard. This is the Thomas F. Sweeney Memorial Bridge. Again, I'm gathering footage of the minor snow event that we had last night. There's the firehouse right there, Norwich Fire Department, right there. Sewage treatment plant directly in front of us. There's like a project there that's in the tens of maybe 100 million. It sounds like I'm exaggerating. I'm not. sewage treatment plant back there. If you look it up and you look at the finances, it's off the charts. It's much needed, I'm sure. American Ambulance to the right, that building over there to the right. Hopefully you can see it. Camera hasn't froze up yet. That's good. I'm on West. Actually, technically I'm on North Thames Street right now. Technically. But I'm going through a green light. I'm pretty sure the minute I cross over onto this portion of the street, my GPS is going to switch over and say West Thames Street. Okay, now it just says Thames Street, but I know it's West Thames Street. To my left is the Norwich Police Department. The Thames River is also to my left. As I drive very slow, the road is bone dry. That's good. So I'm not going to get any of that moisture splattering up and ruining my video by obstructing the lens clarity. So that's a plus. All right. My GPS still says Thames Street. Okay, now it's West Thames. So there could be a situation where in reality, North Thames is way back there that I mentioned, Thames Street for a short stretch, and then now West Thames Street proper. Interesting if true. I don't know. The GPS is usually pretty accurate, so. As you can see, snow on the left and right. Not a lot, but it's there. My first video of 2025 as far as driving, again, as I said earlier, if the recording didn't get destroyed. I have many, many other videos. I do videos all the time for my YouTube channel. Well over 90% of them are of locations in Norwich, Connecticut. There are others, but recently I'm trying to concentrate on being on the ground, covering certain locations in Norwich, important historic locations, for posterity on YouTube, for people to look at now that don't live in the area, for example. They live in California, they live in, Washington State, they live in anywhere, Florida, Arizona, wherever, and they lived here 30, 40, 50 years ago in many cases. And they look back and they go, wow, this is awesome. Look at this guy's videotaping where I used to live, Norwich, Connecticut. He has dozens, hundreds of videos on locations in Norwich, Connecticut. Secondary to that, which is very important, but secondary to that obviously is future generations looking at these videos, seeing how things were back in, for example, today, January 20th, 2025. This is it. If you're watching this thing 300 years from now, some guy driving around in Norwich, Connecticut, this is how it looks. I mean, this is, I'm sure there's electric 300 years from now, there's stuff we can't even imagine. But those are the two goals that since day one, I've been trying to achieve, especially with the driving videos. The other ones, yes, definitely. I mean, but my other videos, I'm on the ground, walking around, covering different things. I'm either doing walking, talking videos, or sometimes on a tripod, music in the background type of thing. That's what I'm trying to do. As I very slowly and gingerly drive down West Thames Street. Norwich in to my right. The snow's melting already. I mean, it's 27 degrees here on this January 20th, 2025 day in Norwich, Connecticut. And the sun is out, real strong presence from that sun. And it's melting the snow already. This is not going to last. We just, Very minor amount, very minor accumulation. Another flag at half-staff due to the death of former President Jimmy Carter. And I'm going to take a right onto New London Turnpike. Just for a second. I'm in Norwich right now, but just for a second, I'm going to be in Montville. So I'm in Montville right now, just for a second. The Uncasville section of Montville. And I turn onto New London Turnpike, and boom, I'm back in Norwich. So little slice of Montville back there. People walking on the road. Right there, no sidewalk. It's a little dicey because of the snow, so. As I cruise up New London Turnpike, that stamp shop, Miller's Stamp Shop to the left. It's been there since I was a kid. If you're into stamps, you might want to check that out. All right, New London Turnpike, Norwich Golf Course to my left and right. Wow, there's a whole bunch of kids out there sliding. I mean, there's not much to slide on. Back there, way back there, can't see it from the road, was a location called Suicide Hill. When we were kids, everybody would go to Suicide Hill and slide down the thing. It was, let's put it this way, it was a blast sliding down Suicide Hill, but walking back up that thing in deep snow, I don't care if you're a kid, I don't care what shape you're in. That was a pain. Malerba's Farm to my right. Best fruits, vegetables, flowers, plants. Legendary place to go in Norwich to buy the best of the best fruit, vegetables, and all that stuff. Family's been in that business for decades. Three Rivers Community College to my right, with a blanket of snow on the ground that's already starting to melt. As I roll down the road here, a crystal clear day in 2025. Gathering footage of what it looks like after the first, I don't want to use the word significant, but first actual snow day of the year, as far as, you know, you wake up in the morning, you look out the window, and there's actual snow on the ground. East Great Plains Fire Department, volunteer fire department to my right. It's been there for decades. Wonderful people in there, basically putting their lives on the line. You could get that call. Those folks back there could get that call. Go to an emergency situation where the building is engulfed in flames and put their lives on the line trying to save people. Okay, that's what's hanging over their heads pretty much every day, so I do not take that for granted. I never did, I never will. Very important. All Friends Animal Hospital to my right. Camera's still operating. That's good news. I'm going to take a right. I'm just going to zip through here real quick. I have a separate video of, this is Stanton School, obviously. Okay, no school today. This is Stanton School directly in front of us. Now, there's a $385 million project in Norwich that is going to either replace, or I'm not sure if they're going to knock this thing to the ground and, you know, build from scratch or rehab the school top to bottom. I don't know, but there's a lot of money. It's been approved. It's going to happen to this school and several others in Norwich. Right here, John B. Stanton School. Let's grab this thing very slowly on the video. But it's going to be replaced. So that's it. It's time. Okay, it needs to be replaced. And I just wanted to grab that real quick. I mean, I have a full comprehensive video where I walk around that. I did it recently. There's that wall, famous wall at John B. Stanton School. Right there, kids have stories about that wall. They practice hitting things up, snowball fight, whatever. I could go on and on. Check out my other video. Read the comments under the video. There's a lot of cool stories there. If you're interested, if you went to Stanton as a young kid. All right, I'm going to work my way back onto New London Turnpike. I mean, you know, visually, I'm just driving around. From an observational, you know, standpoint, looking out over this panoramic scene, it's kind of nice. I mean, you know, there's snow on some of the trees, although that's starting, you know, a little bit of wind and a little bit of, you know, that melting snow situation. It's starting. The visuals were better early in the morning, really early. But you can see to the left there, some of those trees look real nice. Real early, you know, maybe 7, 8 o'clock or whatever. I think the visuals were much nicer. The trees were covered with snow. So I don't have the full effect right now, but I'm just getting what I can get. I'm on Star Street, by the way, right now. This is a more modern era, you know, homes, and I think the 70s, maybe, 60s, 70s, 80s. A lot of these houses were built. When I was a kid, we used to drive down the street. There were no homes, or maybe 1, 2 houses. Now they're on both sides of the street, lining the street. This is going to put us out, Star Street is going to put us out onto Asylum Street. I'm going to go over the Sherman Street Bridge again. Okay, the Sherman, because I did it earlier, but again, not to dwell on it, I know I have. I had a camera problem. I think I might have lost a ton of footage. I hope not. But I'm going to drive over this Sherman Street Bridge, which was completed this year. Well, no, I'm sorry. It was completed in 2024. So this is the first snow event. Taking a right onto the Sherman Street Bridge right now, going over the Yantic River. This is the Sherman Street Bridge right here. I'll drive very slowly. It's 2 bridges. I just drove over the large one. I'm now going to drive over the small one. Okay, I'm driving over the small one right now. That construction on that project was completed in 2024. It took a couple of years. I mentioned this in my other video. If that's there, I'm repeating myself. I'm sorry to be redundant, but I just think I lost a ton of footage. I'm going to take a right down Sachem Street. And let's see here. Yeah, you can see the snow on both sides of the street. The roofs are covered. I don't know about cover. You know, there's a lot of these roofs. If an attic is not well insulated, there will be very quick melting, which is not good, by the way. See, to the left, there's a house with absolutely no snow on it, so there's no insulation in that roof, or that attic, or minimal. But if there's snow on the roof right now, there's probably adequate amount of insulation to stave off that rapid melting process. All right, I am on Sachem. I'm going to cross over, get a quick look at NFA. I'm not going to drive around the campus. It's not I don't think it's allowed, especially with a camera mounted on the front of your car. It's very suspicious looking. Trust me, all right, let me take a short. You know, I'm going to head up towards Mohegan Park. Yeah, we got a good look at Slater Museum and NFA there a little bit. Let me take a cruise up to Mohegan Park area just to grab a little video. Waiting for the red light to turn green. And we're going to take a right on Crescent Street. That was Chelsea Parade. I don't know if it's street or that little street back there. This is Crescent Street. I'm going to take a left onto Joseph Perkins Road. You know what? Let me go straight. Somebody's going to be real disappointed. Why didn't he turn up Joseph Perkins? I used to live there in the 1940s. I have tons of videos on my YouTube channel where I do Perkins Street. As a matter of fact, I'll probably make a dedicated Perkins Street video one of these days where I walk up and down that road. That's kind of an important street. It's directly parallel to the campus of NFA. Sheltering Arms, that structure, big brick building right in front of us, a beautiful building. That's residential care, I believe, for the elderly. Now, this is Reynolds Road. Actually, technically right now I'm on McKinley Avenue Extension for a very short period of time until I hit right here. Now, this is Reynolds Road. People jog. I've seen NFA track and field, young kids running up this road for exercise. Rose Arts Festival road race years ago used to run right up this thing. It's absolutely grueling. You had some legendary runners, Amby Burfoot frequently won that. Amby Burfoot won the Boston Marathon. Okay? So, you had some heavy hitters in that Rose Arts race. The best of the best. As we get to the top of Reynolds Road, there's Rec Field. Actually, it's no longer Rec Field, it's Dickerman Field. Brand new tennis courts directly in front of us. Behind that, Kelly Middle School, formerly called Kelly Junior High. Basketball courts. Robert W. Spain basketball courts. To my left, I'm pointing right towards them right now. There's a track, a soccer field to my right. All right, let's go up. Well, I'm going to approach Mohegan Park in a different direction here. I'm on Mahan Drive. To my left, Kelly Middle School. Should I take a quick zip through there? I don't think so. There's a police officer down there. And he might see the camera on the car, and if I was him or her, I would be suspicious of a person driving around with a camera mounted directly on the front hood of their vehicle and think to myself, why in the world is that guy doing that? That's a reasonable question in my mind. I have never been pulled over and questioned about it. But if you saw the vehicle, people always look at it when I'm at stop signs and things, and saw the camera, you would think, that's kind of strange. Look at that. That's picturesque. A New England post-snowstorm drive in the country right here. Let's see now. This is Ox Hill Road. Okay, so I'm going to briefly take a spin around the Mohegan Park area. Spalding Pond is there. I got to be careful. These roads are well plowed, but this is a tricky turn. And sometimes things freeze up and you got a big problem. We don't want that. But this is kind of cool. I mean, you know, just again, visually, the snow. This is kind of what I was aiming for when I went out for this drive. I mean, if my footage isn't, as far as I can tell, my camera's operating flawlessly right now. I don't know what happened earlier, but again, it could have been, might have froze out the mechanics inside that camera. But right now, things are looking good. Okay, Ox Hill Road continues. I mean, this is still Ox Hill Road. I'm going to make this circle here. There's kind of a little rotary thing, or it's just a turnaround. And I'm going to head up over to, let's see, another section of Mohegan Park. See the pine trees to the left and to the right. It still has snow on them. So that's, again, really what I wanted to capture. Some of that post-snow, day after, you know, New England, right there, right in front of us. Again, I hope the camera can appreciate the video, capture the feel that I'm getting right now. Spalding Pond to the left, that vast area of white. It was iced over, so obviously the snow, a couple inches of snow on top of it now. I don't want to stop here too long in case I get a car coming. But that gives you kind of a quick glance. Anyways, let's capture some more of that New England. Yeah, this is beautiful. My wife recommended that I drive through Mohegan Park for visuals just like this. And they really are nice. Snow still on the trees down here. Very, very beautiful. There's a dog pound, a rose garden. There's disc golf back there. I mean, Mohegan Park is an absolute gemstone, okay, in Norwich. Absolute gemstone. If you've never been to Mohegan Park and you're anywhere in the area, let's say you're on vacation, you go to the Mohegan Sun. Take a day, couple hours, whatever you want. Get out of the vehicle, walk around Mohegan Park, Spalding Pond, and then, you know, thank me, because you're going to love it. And you're going to tell your friends, and they're going to be like, wow, I never knew that place existed. It's absolutely beautiful. Okay, let me pull into this little parking lot just to get a kind of a view. Did they plow this thing? Look at this. Norwich is so good at plowing. Off in the distance there, hopefully I'm getting it on the camera here, because I'm on a pretty steep angle, is Kelly Middle School. Beautiful clouds in the background. The soccer field I mentioned in the track is that big white area in the foreground there. I walk that a lot. My wife and I walk that. It's a great track, quarter-mile track. Anyways, I think, you know, I got my fingers crossed. I think we got some pretty good video back there. I hope. You know, you never know. I'll cruise around a little bit more, and then we'll close this thing down. Let's take another run down Mahan Drive. Kelly Middle School to the left. Norwich Tech to my left down here. Norwich Senior Center. Beautiful senior center. I mean, this is top of the line, state of the art. Tons of activities. To my left, Norwich Regional Technical School. Brand new upgrade. It used to be Mohegan Community College, but they poured tons of money into it, rehabbed it, fixed it up. There's a skateboard park back there to my right. Ox Hill Road. Okay, we're going to go down. Last time we took a right. This time we're going to take a left down Ox Hill Road. Camera's still operating, which makes me happy because, again, when we started out this video, I had a lot of footage, and then the camera died. Oof, to lose all, I hope I didn't lose it, but I might have, I don't know. So I drive down Ox Hill Road. Now, if I take a left, that's Harlan Road. I'm not going to do, you know, this is a big decision. Do I go straight or do I go left? Let me do a little bit of the lower portion, lower Harlan, just a touch here. Yeah, there's some nice visuals here. The snow to the left and right, clouds in the foreground. Yeah, it's this little section right here is worth capturing, I think. Again, if the camera's doing it justice. All right, let's take a right onto Lathrop Lane. Again, perfectly plowed by the awesome City of Norwich Public Works. So we get on this, another historic street. Directly in front of us, let me take a left here. Directly in front of us is Lowthorpe Meadows. I have tons of videos on that. Really cool house. They're still working on it right there in front of us. Historically very significant home. And there's that old, I don't know, probably horse and buggies and different things used to stop there. But to my extreme left here, I'm on Washington Street. This used to be called Washington Street Extension. Now it's just called Washington Street. To my extreme left is Lowthorpe Meadows. I have several videos on that. Walkthroughs, walk and talk, music in the background, different things. Worth checking out. I'm not here to just be some big promotional thing for myself, but I'm proud of those videos. Check them out. Really cool houses around here. The one to my right, I think that was built. Let me see if I can catch a sign on that. It could be early 1700s. I don't see it, but there is an indication of that property, like a little plaque or something. It was built in the early 1700s. Early to mid 1700s, let's put it that way. Okay, I'm on Scotland Road, lower portion of Scotland Road. I'm not going to go up Scotland. I think take a left here. Yeah, this is Huntington Lane, another directly in front of us. I was in that house once on an official tour that the former owners or people gave, and George Washington was in that house right there directly in front of us. Okay? Fact. These people researched it, and they were, the integrity and everything of the documentation they had is flawless. George Washington, first president of the United States, was in that home. Now, did he sleep there? I don't, whatever. He was in the home. That's all I need to know. That's good enough for me. I do want to take a slight. Somebody with a big dog in front of me. That's kind of nice. I do want to catch this one little visual. Then I'm going to turn around. Let's see. Yeah, there's nobody behind me. To my right, that barn. I always love that Norwich Town picturesque scene. It's been painted many times. Painters will come down here, put their easel up, and paint that. But I'm going to turn around and head in the other direction here if I can make a big, giant turn. There's nobody around, so I don't see why I can't do it. All right, let's see if, nobody around. Not a lot of traffic. I don't know if the snow's keeping people indoors or don't see why it would, but we cruise down the road here a little bit. I'm going to end things shortly. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate the people that do watch my videos on my YouTube channel. Everybody that makes comments, these guys and men and women are so pleasant and friendly and generous with their comments and their kind words. I can't thank you enough. I'm doing this work for documentation. I'm simply documenting this era in Norwich, Connecticut and the surrounding area, whether it be driving videos, walking around videos, whatever. I am very grateful for all the support that I get for that channel, for my YouTube channel. And I just want to thank everybody for that. When this light turns green, I'm going to take a right, and I'm going to get a shot of the First Congregational Church in Norwich, and I'm going to end the video there. January 20th, 2025, Norwich, Connecticut. Thanks for joining me, folks.